from a very blustery Wexford this morning. What a night. But hopefully everybody's okay and staying safe, and we'll do Facebook Live as usual. Maybe joined by a couple of cats this morning. They're absolutely terrified, so they're in here with me, some of them. So let's get going. So can we learn to keep an open mind? Now, this is basically around the concept of fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. And a lot of research has been done. Sorry, it's a cat's tail. A lot of research has been done around this over the last few decades, and it's been quite interesting. If you want to check it out, a lady called Carol Dweck, I think that's how you pronounce her name, has done a huge amount of research, and then, so if you want to check her out, it's really interesting, particularly from the point of view, I think, as a parent. It really shows you some really good ways in which to encourage a more growth mindset within our children, and how we can help them to develop a growth mindset, and also help ourselves develop a growth mindset. So I think by what I'm saying there is, the answer to the open mind is yes, we can. But let's compare them. So we have a fixed mindset on one side, and these people believe that your intelligence is fixed. You can't change it. Success comes from the talents that you have. They're more likely to quit as well if things aren't going so easily for them. So basically, when the going gets tough, they actually quit. That's not really such a good place to be. But if this is you're thinking to yourself, okay, that's me. Maybe you can recognize. Maybe if you do a little bit more research on that mindset, and you say, okay, I'm recognizing some of those traits in myself. That's okay, because you can switch it around, and I'm going to talk about that this morning. The growth mindset, on the other hand, believe that they can grow, that their intelligence can grow, that it's not fixed in stone, that it can be developed, through lifelong learning, through continuing to challenge themselves, that they can succeed. They have this, they see anything as a challenge. This is a challenge. It's not a failure, it's a challenge. Challenge to be overcome. Failures are something you can learn from. Therefore, they have really good resilience. And in fact, they have better happiness levels as well. So even on that scale, it's something that it would be good to develop. So basically, the research says that the view we adopt, and I've talked about this before. I've talked about this particularly around negative thinking, negative mindset, anything like that. That where you adopt, the view you adopt of yourself is how you will and determine, how it determines how you're going to handle the situation. Sorry, getting a bit tongue-tied there now this morning. The growth mindset keeps the possibilities open. It keeps the hope, the dreams alive for much longer. It's not that somebody with a fixed mindset doesn't have hopes and dreams. They do. It just seems to constrain them. This mindset. It keeps the world a lot smaller. So, having a growth mindset then, therefore, is something we would prefer to have. And again, I just want to caution you there. It's okay to see that maybe you have a growth mindset in one area of your life, but you maybe have a bit more of a fixed mindset in another, and that's okay. It'll develop. You can develop it. It's not. Don't panic about it. Don't think, oh, no, I have to stay in my little box. You don't. That's a fixed mindset. You don't. You can move beyond it. You can move out of your comfort zone, and you can learn and grow. So how can we develop that in ourselves and our children? Our children will learn from us. So the first one is, belief in yourself. Believe that your efforts matter. Or every tiny thing that you do, it matters. It's important. So you have to watch how you talk to yourself. How is that internal negative voice going? The self-talk has to be of a more positive nature. Now, it doesn't have to be, we're not talking about Pollyanna here, okay? We're talking about having an overall level of good internal positive dialogue and not be putting yourself down. Again, the same with your beliefs. You know, you're viewing the world in a more positive way than you do negative. It's not that when you come up, you don't go, oh no, I've hit a challenge. You go, okay, I've hit a challenge. I'm going to feel really rubbish about this. I'm going to feel a bit down about it. Yes, yes, you will. You know, we all experience that. But it's how you then get yourself back up and how quickly you get yourself back up means you have a more of a growth mindset. Um, those that that would collapse down, that withdraw, that would be more of a fixed mindset. So it's how we deal with the challenges will get us going again. So that we have to really watch that negative self-talk, and how we can talk ourselves into things, or out of things. So that's what you're looking at. Two, you view, the failure. We see failure as a learning experience. We learn to reflect on what happened. We gain the positives out of it. Even if we failed at something, that doesn't mean we are a failure. So you do not equate that. If you fail at something, it's a learning experience, one you can reflect on, one you can grow from, one you can take positive experiences from. There's always something positive in a failure, always. You just sometimes we have to take that step back, give ourselves some time out, and then reflect and look upon it. Um, so, it's very important that we do not view ourselves as failure. There are self beliefs, again, going back to our talk, how we talk to ourselves, going back to our self beliefs about ourselves. Our internal dialogue is that of, you know, yes, I can succeed. Um, no, that does not mean I am a failure just because I've messed something up. Number three, be open to change. Um, this is so important. Stepping outside your comfort zone, yes, can be hard. But again, if you can step back and reframe the situation for yourself, managing your stress levels, managing, your fear, your anxiety, and then be willing to take the next step. In other words, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's a great phrase. It's a good book, by the way, if you haven't read it. It's a very old book, but it is a good book. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And take that next step. Even the smallest of baby steps to step you out of the comfort zone. Even if it's a case of dip the toe in the water, do it, step back and reflect upon it. Reflect upon how it went. That is a growth mindset, and that's what you'll become. You want to cultivate. And again, asking for help if you need it. Seeing that, okay, this might be beyond me on my own, or maybe I don't know how to do it yet. So therefore, being willing to ask for help and being willing to be open to learning is all part of that growth mindset that we want to cultivate in ourselves and our kids. So number four, then, that brings me on to the next one, which is learning new skills, and that's a lifelong thing. I'm a big proponent of, I want to people to learn throughout their lives. It keeps the mind so active. It keeps the brain so active. It helps stave off some forms of dementia. So we want to be setting ourselves achievable goals and learning new skills all the time. It doesn't have to be for work, it can be for your personal life as well. Um, you know, Look at the challenges, accept the challenges, be willing to learn them, be willing to allow them to help you grow, and overcome a situation. Even if you think, but I'm only learning to cook something, I'm only learning, to do something, an art piece or something like that. I'm only, it's not work related or school or college related. That's okay. They all help you face a difficult challenge, overcome it, and build resilience. So even the smallest of skills that we can learn, learning to change a plug, learning to change a fuse, anything small, learning just, yesterday I was teaching my grandson how to sew buttons on. We were practicing, he was making snakes with fabric and he was putting buttons on, he was learning to do that. That is a life skill I was teaching him yesterday. I was teaching him how to hem. Something small like that is a big thing, but it's a big life skill. It's a handy life skill to have, in fact, for children. But this sort of thing helps you to see that you can achieve something. It helps you see you can grow, you can overcome, you can face a challenge. He didn't know how to do that yesterday. He now knows how to do that. And it also allows us to take back control of our lives and be in, you know, see that we can set a challenge for ourselves, we can overcome it, and that we can gain from those small wins. That can be hugely beneficial to anyone's self-confidence, self-esteem. You're building your knowledge and your skills up, and again, you are building resilience as well. Number 5 then is to manage our emotions. How to regulate our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts is all very, very important. Two things I want to highlight here that you can use that are really simple, and an awful lot of time people write them off, is meditation. You do not have to sit for a 30-minute session. You can do it, break it up over the course of the day. I say this to my mums: if you're busy people, you don't have time to sit down. You don't even have 30 minutes. You don't have that for yourself. That you learn to meditate maybe for 3 minutes at a time. You can start children off with a 1 minute meditation or a 30-second meditation and build it up to 3 minutes at a time. And over the course of the day, you get to do you get 15 or 20 minutes in. Again, you're training the mind here. This is a brain training tool. It also helps to calm the mind, of course, and calm you down, and helps to regulate your emotions as well. But it allows us to capture our thoughts and to slow it down enough that we can actually see how we're self-talking. How do we what's that internal dialogue going on about how we do it? The second thing then to do is to be very proactive about this, is to then write down those thoughts. So, we capture the thoughts when we can slow down our thinking. We write them down. We can then challenge them. We can take that step back. We can review them and reflect on the situation. We can also see what our triggers are. What's triggering us to think this way? So therefore we can adapt, we can avoid, we can change our thinking as well through the use of affirmations and that. So the other thing that both of these tools can help you do is to learn some acceptance of yourself, of who you are right now, and to learn what you can control. And that's very important. An awful lot of the time we're scrambling and we're trying to fix things that are actually beyond our control, that are not our responsibility. So it's important to be able to slow ourselves down enough, manage the stress, manage the fear, the anxiety, manage the emotions in order to do that and to help ourselves. It's a very proactive way of helping yourself, to do this. And of course, including the gratitude. I've said this before, gratitude is so important for boosting your positive self-talk and to literally change your mind and boost your happiness. So both of those techniques, they do rewire the brain. They retrain the brain as well. So they're really small things. They don't take an awful lot of time, and they are helpful. Number 6, and the final point this morning, is to find a positive support system. I've talked about it before. It is so important. But a growth mindset, people with a growth mindset know they can't go it alone. They know they need that support, that positive support around them, to nurture them, to gain information from, to have that emotional support and to have tangible support as well. So, they delete negative people. They actively delete negative people and go, no, you're not for me. They're setting boundaries there. They're really good at setting boundaries. So, no, you are not for me. No, thank you. And saying no. They say no to people. They say no to extra things. No, I'm not available to do that. And they also, they know they have a very strong support system in place to help them when they need to reach out. So that's it for this morning again. And I hope, you gained, something from that. And there'll be a new blog as always on Monday. So if you need to read the original blog, there's always more in the original blog. then you can find a link in the description below. If you'd like to talk to me, reach out. I'm available. If you'd like to join my mum's group, it's a free group. We have about 9 modules up there now at this stage, all free training workshops contained in those worksheets, everything contained in that, including, meditation exercises. Apologies about the cat. She's very anxious because she's very afraid. I'm sorry. Um, and so you can come and join us. I'll leave a link to the description below as to how you can join the free mums group. So I leave it there, and as always, thank you, Deirdre. Loving your Zen little friend back. Yes, that's Evelyn. She's very Zen. Unfortunately, Ginny is not so Zen this morning. She is being very upset from about 5 o'clock this morning. Very, 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 very upset with the high winds. We're having high winds. If you're watching this in replay, we're having a storm at the moment, and she's the cats, of course, and the dogs next door as well are very, very upset. But thank you, thank you for tuning in as always, Deirdre, and I tweet with you on Wexford Hour. Thank you.